The Witches by Roald Dahl. Formula 86 Delayed Action Mousemaker.
"Children are revolting!"
screamed the Grand High Witch.
"We will wipe them all away! We will scrub them at the face of the earth! We will flush them down the drain!"
"Yes, yes," chanted the audience. "Wipe them away! Scrub them off the earth! Flush them down the drain!"
"Children are foul and filthy!"
thundered the Grand High Witch. They are, chorused the English witches. "They are foul and filthy."
"Children are dirty and stinky!"
screamed the Grand High Witch. "Dirty and stinky!" cried the audience, getting more and more worked up.
"Children are smelling of dogs' droppings!"
screeched the Grand High Witch. "Pooh!" cried the audience. "Pooh! Pooh! Pooh!"
"They are worse than dogs' droppings!"
screeched the Grand High Witch.
"Dogs' droppings is smelling like violets and primroses compared with children."
"Violets and primroses," chanted the audience. They were clapping and cheering almost every word spoken from the platform. The speaker seemed to have them completely under her spell.
"To talk about children is making me sick!"
screamed the Grand High Witch.
"I am feeling sick, even thinking about them. Fetch me a basin!"
The Grand High Witch paused and glared at the mass of eager faces in the audience. They waited, wanting more.
"So now!"
barked the Grand High Witch.
"So now! I am having a plan. I am having a giganticus plan for getting rid of every single child on the whole of England."
The witches gasped, they gaped, they turned and gave each other ghoulish grins of excitement.
"Yes!"
thundered the Grand High Witch.
"We shall swish them and swallow them, and we shall make to disappear every single smelly little brat in England in one stroke."
"Whoopee!" cried the witches, clapping their hands. "You are brilliant, oh, your grandness! You are fantabulous!"
"Shut up and listen!"
snapped the Grand High Witch.
"Listen very carefully, and let us not be having any muck-ups."
The audience leaned forward, eager to learn how this magic was going to be performed.
"Each and every one of you,"
thundered the Grand High Witch,
"is to go back to your hometowns immediately and resign from your jobs. Resign! Give notice! Retire!"
"We will," they cried. "We will resign from our jobs."
"And after you have resigned from your jobs,"
the Grand High Witch went on,
"each and every one of you will be going out and you will be buying."
She paused. "What will we be buying?" they cried. "Tell us, oh brilliant one! What is it we shall be buying?"
"Sweet shops,"
shouted the Grand High Witch. "Sweet shops!" they cried. "We're going to buy sweet shops! What a frumptuous wheeze!"
"Each of you will be buying for herself a sweet shop. You will be buying the very best and most respectable sweet shops in England."
We will, they answered. Their dreadful voices were like a chorus of dentist drills, all grinding away together.
"I am wanting no tuppenny, halfpenny, crummy little tobacco-selling newspaper sweet shops," shouted the Grand High Witch. "I am wanting you to get only the very best sweet shops, filled up high with piles and piles of luscious sweets and tasty chocks."
"The best," they cried. "We shall buy the best sweet shops in town."
"You will be having no trouble in getting what you want,"
shouted the Grand High Witch,
"because you will be offering 4 times as much as a shop is worth, and nobody is refusing an offer like that. Money is not a problem to us witches, as you know very, very well. I have brought with me 6 trunks stuffed full of English banknotes, all new and crisp, and all of them," she added with a fiendish leer, "all of them homemade."
The witches in the audience grinned, appreciating this joke. At that point, one foolish witch got so excited at the possibilities presented by owning a sweet shop that she leapt to her feet and shouted, "The children will come flocking to my shop, and I will fill them poison sweets and poison chocks and wipe them all like weasels." The room became suddenly silent. I saw the tiny body of the Grand High Witch stiffen and then go rigid with rage.
"Who spoke?" she shrieked. "It was you over there."
The culprit sat down fast and covered her face with clawed hands.
"You glittering bumpkin,"
screeched the Grand High Witch.
You brainless bog vampire! Are you not realizing that if you're going round poisoning little children, you'll be caught in 5 minutes flat? Never in my life am I hearing such a butt-walloping suggestion coming from a witch!
The entire audience cowered and shook. I'm quite sure they all thought, as I did, that the terrible white-hot sparks were about to start flying again. And, curiously enough, they didn't.
If such a tom-fiddling idea is all you can be coming up with,
thundered the Grand High Witch,
then it is no wonder England is still swarming with rotten little children.
There was another silence. The Grand High Witch stared at the witches in the audience.
Do you not know,
she shouted at them,
that we witches are working only with magic?
We know, your Grandness, they all answered. Of course we know. The Grand High Witch grated her bony gloved hands against each other and cried out,
So each of you is owning a magnificent sweet shop. The next move is that each of you will be announcing in the window of your shop that on a certain day you will be having a great gala opening with free sweets and chocolates to every child.
That will bring them in, the greedy little brutes, shouted the audience. They'll be fighting to get through the doors.
Next,
continued the Grand High Witch,
you will prepare yourselves for this great gala opening by filling every choc and every sweet in your shop with my very latest and greatest magical formula. This is known as the Formula 86, Delayed Action Mouse Maker.
Delayed Action Mouse Maker, they chanted. She's done it again. Her Grandness has concocted yet another of her wondrous magic child killers. How do we make it a brilliant one?
Exercise patience,
answered the Grand High Witch.
First, I'm explaining to you how my Formula 86 Delayed Action Mouse Maker is working. Listen carefully.
We're listening, cried the audience, who were now jumping up and down in their chairs with excitement.
The Delayed Action Mouse Maker is a green liquid, explained the Grand High Witch. And 1 tablet in each choc or sweet will be quite enough. So here is what happens. Child eats choc which has in it Delayed Action Mouse Maker liquid. Child goes home feeling fine. Child goes to bed still feeling fine. Child wakes up in the morning still okay. Child goes to school still feeling fine. Formula, you understand, is a delayed action and is not working yet.
We understand, oh brainy one, cried the audience. But when does it start working?
It is starting to work at exactly 9 o'clock when the child is arriving at school, shouted the Grand High Witch triumphantly. Child arrives at school, Delayed Action Mouse Maker immediately starts to work. Child starts to shrink. Child is starting to grow fur. Child is starting to grow tail. All is happening in precisely 26 seconds. After 26 seconds, child is not a child any longer. It is a mouse.
A mouse, cried the witches. What a French resort!
Classrooms will all be swarming with mice, shouted the Grand High Witch. Chaos and pandemonium will be reigning in every school in England. Teachers will be hopping up and down. Women teachers will be standing on desks with no skirts and yelling, help, help, help.
They will, cried the audience.
And what, shouted the Grand High Witch, is happening next in every school?
Tell us, they cried. Tell us, oh brainy one. The Grand High Witch stretched her stringy neck forward and grinned at the audience, showing 2 rows of pointed teeth, slightly blue. She raised her voice louder than ever and shouted, Mousetraps is coming out!
Mousetraps! cried the witches. And cheese! shouted the Grand High Witch. Teachers are rushing, running around and getting mousetraps and baiting them with cheese and putting them down all over the school. The mice is nibbling the cheese. Mousetraps is going off all over the school. And mousetraps is going snappity-snap. And mouse heads is rolling across the floor like marbles all over England. And in every school in England, noise of snapping mousetraps will be heard. Oh, wow!
At this point, the disgusting old Grand High Witch began to do a sort of witch's dance up and down the platform, stamping her feet and clapping her hands. The entire audience joined in the clapping and the foot stamping. They were making such a tremendous racket that I thought surely Mr. Stringer would hear it and come banging at the door, but he didn't. Then, above all the noise, I heard the voice of the Grand High Witch screaming out some sort of awful, gloating song.
Down with children, do them in, boil their bones and fry their skin. Bish them, skish them, bash them, mash them, break them, shake them, slash them, smash them, offer chocks with magic powder, say eat up and say it louder, cram them full of sticky eats, send them home still guzzling sweets, and in the morning little fools go marching off to separate schools. A girl feels sick and goes so pale, she yells, hey look, I'm grown at hell. A boy who's standing next to her screams, help, I think I'm growing fur. Another shouts, we look like freaks, there's whiskers growing on her cheeks. A boy who was extremely tall cries out, what's wrong, I'm growing small. Four tiny legs begin to sprout from everybody running about, and all at once and in the trice there are no children, only mice. In every school is mice galore, or running round the schoolroom floor, and all the poor demented creatures is yelling, hey, who are those creatures? They stand upon the desks and shout, get out, you filthy mice, get out. Will someone fetch some mousetraps, please? And don't forget to bring the teas. Now mousetraps come in every trap, because snippy snip and snappy snap. The mousetraps have a powerful spring. The springs go crack and snap and ping. It's lovely noise for us to hear. It's music to our witch's ear. Dead mice in every place around, piled 2 feet deep up on the ground, with teachers searching left and right, but not a single child in sight. The teachers cry, what's going on? And where have all the children gone? It's 9:30, and as a rule, they never let us for school. But teachers here don't know what to do. Some sit and read, and just a few amuse themselves throughout the day by screaming all their mice away. And all the witches shout, hooray!